that. See, page 33. Adding flavor and giving sight to the world. So in the Matthew passage that I just read, what two images does Jesus use to describe his disciples? Salt and light. See, before refrigeration was invented, salt was used to keep meat from rotting. With this in mind, what do you think Jesus meant when he said, "You are the salt of the earth"? I suppose we're going to be preserving the people from being completely evil because we're reading the Word of God. And the Word of God gives life to people. Plus, we make things more tasty because we're different. We're not just the bland, same old communist, atheist propaganda. We're rebels. We stand out. People are going to notice us, and we're going to keep them from being completely corrupted. And that's God's grace to the non-believers. Keeps us from being as evil as we can possibly be. If it weren't for our common grace, we'd all eat each other alive. And if it weren't for saving grace, there'd be no common grace. So it's all because of God. What might cause Christians to lose their saltiness? They lose their saltiness by not reading the Bible, not going to church, listening to only the worldly music, and they're going to listen to anything that comes along without paying attention to what it means. So if we don't keep our eyes on Christ, we can't have that saltiness that we have, and we're only no different from everybody else. Or some people do read the Bible and do go to church, yet they still live their lives like everybody else. They're still obsessed with their boyfriends. I don't know what that would be like. And they're cussing on Facebook. It's like, why are you living exactly like the whole world? If I were to decide between you and the non-Christian, I wouldn't know the difference between y'all. And so not only do you have to spend time with Christ, you have to obey Him. You have to live opposite from the world, and the world's going to look at you like you're stupid. You got to save your sex till marriage. You got to not cuss. And that's just, I've already had people look at me like I'm an alien because I said I'm waiting until I'm married. And I had a boyfriend once. I didn't have sex with him. Sex isn't love. Just because you're dating someone doesn't mean you have to have sex with them. That's like the major sin these days, in America at least. And then we got a question asked. You are very active in your church youth group. At school you meet with the Christian Bible study students, and your family is active in the church. In a Bible study on being salt and light to the world, you have to list 5 non-Christian friends, and you can't name one. How do you apply the salt and light principle to your life? That's probably what the main thing I didn't like about the private school that I volunteered at last year. They wouldn't let any kids in whose parents didn't go to church. It's like, how are you supposed to obey Jesus and reach out to non-believers if you only let Christians into your school? It's like, we're not called to be evangelicals. Everybody's called to be evangelical. He didn't give that option to us. That's why I like being at a public school now. I mean, it's torture to hear their ideologies and knowing I can't openly speak out against them, but I can influence them just because of my lifestyle. Because sometimes if you're really a Christian, you just know someone's a Christian without even asking them. I knew about that about my 10th grade biology teacher. Like, I had never met her before, and I knew immediately she was a Christian. And so that just made me happy. And so I know plenty of non-Christians now that I'm back in the public school system. So, alright, how can a Christian be a light of the world? Well, we got to reflect the sun. The sun is Jesus. We're the moon. The S-U-N-S-O-N, and then we're just the moon that reflects off the sun and gives light at nighttime. And our light's not our own. We're only mirrors of the main light. And so, to be the light of the world, one, we've got to be open about our Christianity. We can't hide it under a bowl. We can't hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. Don't let it out. I'm going to let it shine. So you got to be more open about your faith and be more gutsy about standing up for what you believe in. What does Paul advise Christians to do to be lights of the world in Philippians 2:14-15? Getting out the old Bible again. I'm finally doing it. I'm reading Philippians tonight with my Bible study. Yay, Philippians. It says, do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a crooked and depraved generation, in which you shine like the stars in the universe. So do it without complaining or arguing. When kids get all the library books in a pile, don't just put them back. I don't know. Well, I did tell the main librarian, she's got on their case. But I still had to rearrange the books in the right order again. That's why we tell the kids, don't put the library books back on the shelf. Put it on the cart. We will put it on the shelf because you'll put them in the wrong order. And what do? They put them right back on the shelf in the wrong order. Or not at all. They pile them on some empty space or something. Alright. But we got to try to be as kind to them without killing them, without yelling at them until they're deaf. So, why do you think light is such a common reference to Christ? And you've always got to let them know that you love them despite their faults. Like laugh some. Like Miss Jones, who's the head librarian, always lets her kids know she loves them, even though she does have to yell at them a lot. So why do you think light is a common reference to Christ? Because light hides all the darkness. Light exposes the darkness. That's why non-believers do not like what we're doing, because they're comfortable in their dark little holes. They don't want to shine exposing their sin, but knowing that their sin will be exposed helps you to heal from that. Like back when I struggled with sin in college, the only way I started to heal was to tell other people about it, and usually they were struggling with the same thing, and that really helped me, and it makes me not want to struggle with it anymore. And this next question is, you are a Christian on the junior varsity basketball team. Or I was like the third highest player on the varsity golf team of 3 girls. So yay. Your teammates are friendly and fun, but they have a warped sense of humor, using foul language and talking about sex. I wouldn't know about that. They constantly tell you filthy jokes and invite you to parties where there's a great deal of drinking and sexual promiscuity. Sounds like PCUSA Presbyterian. What are specific ways you can apply the salt and light principle in this situation? Just don't do it. Like I was on a golf team. There was one girl that would talk about sex, and I just didn't join in. I just said, yeah, that's nice. But I'd never cussed. Well, I can't say that because golf can be frustrating. Not that that's a cop-out. You're not the Ephesians 4 is clear that you got to keep your mouth clean. But you just got to live by your lifestyle. Pray at dinner. Talk endlessly about theology. I did that. I did that even before I was in seminary. But yeah. But that's going to be my long lesson. I hope it. But it's better than having a 10-minute lesson and then having nothing to do. So have a good week, y'all. I'm going to Presbytery this weekend. Yay! And I'm actually joining the EPC church finally, so I'm getting out of the liberal denomination and getting into the good conservative one for now. So have a good weekend.